Hi everyone, this is Ms. Tom back again with another Math Minute. We're doing Math Minute number 83 and we will get started in just a moment. Now I want to let you know if you're someone that feels like, you know what, I don't really need to go over all the answers so slowly. You can always skip to the end. At the end I will have all the answers shown so you can check your work and feel confident that you got things right. Alrighty, so go ahead and pause the video. We're going to talk about the questions in just a moment. Welcome back, everybody. All right, so we're going to go ahead and go over number one. Number one is talking about coefficient. Now, coefficient is just a fancy way of saying a number in front of a variable. So what is the number that's in front of the variable? Well, in this case, the number that's in front of the variable is going to be equal to 7. All right? And it's really important to know this vocabulary word because when you're identifying, are you talking about the variable exponent or are you talking about the coefficient? Nope, we're just talking about the number in front of the variable, which is 7. Give yourself a star. You got that right. Now we've got an if problem. If x is equal to 2 and y is equal to 3, what's the answer? So we've got 2 in for x. I'm going to put 2 in for x. Notice how I put parentheses. Anytime you have a variable and you're substituting, make sure you put parentheses. That way you emphasize that it's 2 to the second power. I'm also going to use a different color. I'm going to use green. If it'll let me, I'll use green. Come on, verde. I'm going to use green for the y value, and we're going to put 3. Again, notice how I put parentheses. Also, that's being squared. A common misunderstanding is writing that 3 squared is equal to 6. But that's actually 3 times 2. But we know 3 squared is actually 3 times 3, which is 9. So our answer here should not be 24, but it should be equal to 36. All right, give yourself a star if you got that. If you got 24, you just made a simple error, which you'll need to fix. All right, let's go over number 3. Number 3, okay, this is a little tricky. Is this true? Now, anytime you have an equation problem, let's go ahead and just draw a line through the middle and see, is this true? Well, 3x plus 6x. We can combine these terms because they are like terms. They both have an x value. It's like saying 3 xylophones plus 6 xylophones is equal to, I was about to write 8, 9 xylophones. Is that equal to 18x squared? And we go, no, it's not. So we draw a line through. It is not equal, so we write false. All right, continuing on, we've got another combining like terms problem. Think of the x's as xylophones. 12 xylophones plus 5 xylophones, why, that is 17 xylophones minus 7 xylophones. What's that equal to? 17x minus 7x, that is 10x, or 10 xylophones like we were talking about earlier. Next, we're going to talk about number 5. For what integers is n times 4 greater than 10? Well, let's think about that here. If n is equal to 1, 1 times 4, is that going to be greater than 10? No. What about 2 times 4? No, that doesn't work either. That's 8. 8 is not greater than 10. There's a lot of different numbers that it could be. Notice how the question's saying integers, so it's talking about whole numbers. It's not talking about decimals. So you might be like, oh, I know the answer. The answer is a decimal. Well, we're talking about integers, so it's actually talking about a whole number. So what whole number could it be? Well, could it be 3? 3 times 4... Oh yes, 3 times 4, that is greater than 10. That's 12. And if we choose 4 times 4, that's also greater than 10. There's a lot of numbers that make this greater than 10. So what are we going to say? We're going to say, well, it works for as long as n is greater than or equal to 3. Then we know it is possible. Now you could have probably wrote down 3, 4, 5, 6, so on, and that also counts as a correct answer. Give yourself a star if you got any of those answers. Or if you were really great and wrote down the inequality, that's even better. Okay, let's go over number 6 now. We've got 5y plus 6y minus y. Think about those y's as like yo-yos. 5y plus 6y, that is 11y minus a y. Some of you might think the answer is 11. However, just think about it like I mentioned earlier. These are talking about yo-yos. You've got 11 yo-yos minus a yo-yo. Now, if you don't know what that means that there's only one value there. So it's like 11y minus an invisible 1y. So that makes it so that there are only 10 yo-yos. All right, continuing on, number 7. It says 50 minus 4y when y is equal to negative 3. So this is a substitution problem. So we've got to make sure we've got the 50 minus 4, but instead of y, we're going to write negative 3. Let's see what we have here. We're going to go 50. Whenever you see this part right here, you see negative 4 times negative 3. Negative times a negative is going to be a positive 12. So our answer will be 62. Alrighty, very nice. Alright, give yourself a star. Next, let's continue with number 8. It's talking about 5x plus 10 is equal to 25. We notice it's an equation. So let's go ahead and draw a line through the middle. Let's see what we notice. Well, in order to keep this equation balanced, we've got to subtract that 10 to both sides. I'm going to draw a line here, and then I'm also going to circle a 0 pair. That's a 0 pair that gets out of here. And then we get 5x is equal to 15. If 5x is equal to 15, stop and think. 5 times what number is equal to 15? 5 times 1 is 5, 5 times 2 is 10, 5 times 3, oh, 5 times 3. 5 times 3 is 15. Now you could have also done this right here, 5x equals 15, and divided by 5 to get x is equal to 3. Either way is correct. X is equal to 3. All right, continuing on, this equation is asking us for the slope. What is the slope? The slope is the growth of the line. It tells you in the equation y equals 3x plus 7, the slope is 3. In this case, the slope is 4. So we're going to write 4. Oh, not in highlighter though. We're going to write the slope is 4. So one way to think about that is we've got this equation y is equal to mx plus b, and the m value is your slope. Alrighty, let's continue. Let's go over number 10 now. Number 10, it says the square root of y minus 2 is equal to 8. So what do we do? Okay, I'm going to draw a line here, and then we're going to say, I'm just going to balance. I see that that's a negative 2, so I'm going to add 2 to both sides. We've got 10 now, and the square root of y, they didn't give me much space to write. So we go square root of y is equal to 10. So, whoa, square root of what number is equal to 10? The square root of 64 is equal to 8. The square root of 81 is equal to 9. The square root of 100 is equal to 10. So we would say y is equal to 100. Another way of thinking about that is if you square both sides, square roots and squares are actually opposites of each other, and they actually cancel out, and so you get y is equal to 100 because 10 squared is equal to 100. Alrighty, last one, here we go. It says the sum of two factors for the number 18. What is the sum of the factors for the number 18? Well, let's talk about sum Sum is just a fancy way of saying plus. Factors means what multiplies to 18, like what makes 18. So we know, let's go ahead and do this. We know 1 and 18 multiply to 18. We know 2 and 9 multiply to 18. We know 3 and 6 multiply to 18. Does anything else multiply to 18? Nope, just those. And then, now that we've listed all those factors, we're going to go ahead and add up everything. Now, I'm actually going to show you guys a way of how I add things to make things a little bit easier. So in my mind, what I do is I notice patterns. I go, okay, this is adding, so that means I can add in any order I want. So 18 plus 2 is actually going to be 20. Do you guys see that? That little grouping right there? So we've got 20, that's this one, okay? Then I'm going to again highlight again and go, okay, what else do I notice? Do I notice any other groupings? Yeah, I do. 1 and 9 add to 10. So I'm like, oh, that adds to 10. Okay, so we've got 10. That's easy to do in our head. And then lastly, you're going to notice, oh, we've also got 3 and 6, which adds to 9. So we're going to go, okay, that adds to 9. I don't even really need to do so much work here because we know 20 and 10 add to 30 plus another 9 is 39. So our answer is 39 for the bonus question. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. I'm going to scroll up right now so you can see all the answers here. This is the point where you'd go to check all your answers. You can see what we have. And have a great day. I will see you guys next time.